Uncle Vin, I see you in the building. Let me turn the music down some. All right, what is going on, family? Happy day after Thanksgiving to you. It's Friday, it's fabulous, and I'm full. As y'all can see, I'm sitting down today. I'm almost in a vegetative state. I am so stuffed. Oh my goodness, man. So glad to see everybody here. Brilliance Technical Writing, I see you. Uncle Vin Hennessy in the building. So glad to see you. Let me go ahead and get our Facebook constituents up and running, and we'll be good. Good, man. So come on in, check in, get ready, get busy, and we gonna go from there. Hold it on. Let me. Yes. There we are. Okay. And my daughter decides to call me while I'm going live. Let me do this here. All right. So just checking that. Man, y'all got to let me know, how was your Thanksgiving holiday, man? How was it for you? All right, so we good. All right, Wendy Muhammad, I see you there. Make sure I got this going on here. All right. Set that up. Now I can see everybody. Harris Inc. 256, hello to you. Wendy Muhammad over on Facebook side, good evening to you. Y'all come on in. I was so glad to see everybody. I honestly was thinking, you know what? It's the day after Thanksgiving. Black Friday is happening. People is shopping. You know, who gonna tune in to the show tonight? I was expecting to hear crickets and everything, but I'm so glad that the family is here and everybody's checking in. Yes. My father's on here. Good to see you. Pop, I'm glad that you're here in the building. Uncle Venus said there was the first gathering of family. I know, right? Like since COVID hit, we've been so far apart. We've been so cautious. We've been, just staying at home and really not doing anything, man. It was amazing. I was listening to talk radio and they was talking about the studies about how many people will actually sacrifice. I don't want to say sacrifice, but we'll make that risk. We'll take that risk to get to people on Thanksgiving, despite what's happening and everything, right? So yeah, we also made that sacrifice. My grandmother did a pre-Thanksgiving meal, so we got together on Wednesday over at Grandma's house, and she cooked a good meal, man. That's part of the reason why I'm in a half vegetative state today. That's why y'all see me sitting down tonight, relaxing, because I have been consuming just mounds of food, right? Fried turkey, dressing, ham, candy. Oh, yes. Boy, Thanksgiving, Christmas, my two favorite holidays for two reasons, right? Because get to see family, obviously, and I get to eat. Yes, I get to tear it down. So let's see here. Uncle Vince says, this is my happy hour. Happy hour at what, Unc? You got something special you sipping on you want to share with us? A special holiday recipe for the happy hour? Monrovia Jimerson says, hello, Thanksgiving was delicious. It absolutely was. Alicia, I see you saying hello. Thank you so much for joining me. And like I said, all honesty, hold on. Where is I got a special soundbite, because this is what I thought I was going to hear tonight. Yeah, I thought it was going to be crickets, but obviously not, because we got people here, you know. I understand some people are still out of town. Some people are still enjoying family. That's one of the reasons why it's just me here this evening, because we still have family in town. So nephew is still enjoying his time with family. He did call and was like, do you need me to come to work tonight? And I'm like, you know what? No, go ahead. Take the night off again. Enjoy your family, because they be leaving, out of town this weekend. They'll be leaving to go back. So, enjoy as much time with them as you can. So yeah, definitely. Brilliant's technical writer said, well, you know, what am I doing? I know what I'm not doing. I usually would put these comments in the chat here so everybody can see. So let me do that, man. So let me grab the iPad. So while we getting in here, I do have a topic for tonight, right? We definitely gonna get to it. But let me send some messages out here to the screen so we can all see them, right? So Ms. Brilliant's technical writer, which we all know as Miss Gimme Cornbread, said that they did a virtual trivia game that included questions about family history. Was Home Alone? Oh, that sucks, man. But how was that, right? Being home alone, but still maybe doing a Zoom call, doing everything virtually. It's just not the same as gathering for me. I don't know if I could have did a virtual type of Thanksgiving, even though I know a lot of people did. Like Zoom was extremely busy this Thanksgiving, even though we did take that risk and even we were cautious, right? We did our mask and make sure we had our hand sanitizers and we blessed the food, right? But it was still something about physically being with family there. So interesting, but that is an interesting game, family history. Family history, to be out there to try to see who knows family history. I'm gonna try that game next time we do that. So, oh no, that's man. My condolences, Gamiata. That's definitely nothing really to. I don't know. That's our condolences, right? You know, here I'll put it out here, man. So let's make sure that we definitely send some love to Miss Brilliant's technical writer who said her grandmother passed today. At such a time, it's always hard to lose a loved one around these times, right? It is so difficult to lose a loved one during the holiday times. Man, that is the absolute worst. So understand that my prayers and my condolences goes out to you. If there's anything that I can do from here, by all means, let me know. You know how to reach me, whatever that may be, man. Just let me know, because that's never a good thing, man. So, wow, that's woo, good news there. Phil for president, hello, good to see you, man. I never got an email, Phil, so I don't know if that issue got resolved. Hopefully it did. If not, still email me so we can go ahead and take care of that, man. So I'm stuffed, y'all. I'm not gonna even lie to you. I am like, man, I barely made it. I got the itis because, like I said, all this food that I had is still, even for lunch, I ate a big, huge plate of leftovers. And when I go home tonight, I'm going to eat a big, huge plate of leftovers. Man, yeah. Hey, guess great experience, though. You know, I can say that. Remember, I think last week, was it last week? Last week, I was telling you about how me and my wife, we was going to go celebrate her birthday. And it went all right. I was a little disappointed because I had this idea where I wanted to take her shopping. I say, you have 3 hours to just go shopping, do whatever you want to do, and I'm going to front the price tag, right? I don't know if even 3 hours would have been good enough. But it was interesting or disappointing because I made this whole entire schedule. Like, all right, we're going to leave the house exactly at this time, get to these outlet stores, let you go crazy shopping, but we had to be gone by this time because we had to be at the next place at this time. And we get to the outlets, man, and it is this pandemic has really ruined everything for me. So we get there and we spend at least 2.5 hours in line for one store, right? Because it was her favorite store. So we kind of, the whole entire experience was killed due to this pandemic. But the good thing about it, the second part of the day, we really had fun. And the second part of the day was we went horseback riding. I had never been horseback riding. She had never been horseback riding. And I can definitely say that it was a very interesting experience. If you've never been horseback riding, I'm going to say do it, right? because horses are some very beautiful, majestic creatures. Just make sure you don't get a horse that's ornery, right? I guess because at my height and my weight, they had to give me a big horse. And that big horse that they gave me was just, it had its own mind. So for my first experience in horseback riding, I had a horse that had his own agenda. Okay, and so to the point where our tour guide, I guess our trail, whatever guide he was on, he was like, you know, when you get to this certain point, the horse is going to want to go left because that's the way home. And you're going to have to force him to go right. And I'm like, okay, cool, I can do that, right? Because they showed us how to, you know, I guess you tow the strap. If you pull it to the left, that makes him go left. You pull it to the right, that makes he go to the right. Easy enough for me, right? Okay, cool. So when we get to this certain area on the trail, sure indeed, the horse decided it wanted to go left. It wanted to go home. And so I'm pulling to the right, like, no, we want to go right. And I'm, you know, I don't want to hurt the horse, right? Because I'm sensitive to that. I don't want to, so I'm like slightly pulling to the right. And the dude was like, nah, man, you gonna have to force him. So me and this horse gets into a war while I'm on it. No, again, first time riding a horse. Very interesting because during the whole time up until that point, we were on a nice little gallop, right? Traveling along nice and smooth. Then when I got to fighting with the horse, it felt like it wanted to buck me off and run. So I'm here thinking, panicking, like, how am I about to jump off this thing? Where am I going to land? Where am I going to go? It was very interesting. My wife is laughing at me. Everybody laughing at me because I had that experience with a horse. But I conquered it, right? Like me and that horse, we wrestled. He was literally trying to pull me to the left, and I'm yanking to the right. And finally, the director had to come get in front of him, and the horse conceded, and we continued on our trail. And that was my first experience in horseback riding. But I figured I definitely got to do that again. Yes, Natalie is laughing at me. Good to see you, by the way, Natalie, but thanks for laughing at me and saying that you would have been scared, because I was like, oh, Lord, my first time riding a horse and I'm about to get bucked, right? So it was interesting. All right, so let's see. You know what? Before we get too busy, let me go ahead and play the intro video, come back, and I see some questions popping in I want to make sure I get to, so let's do it. When we come back, I'll be here. Alrighty, welcome back, family. It's so good to be seen. For those of you who do not know who I am, right? I am your favorite uncle, cousin Tyrone Gregory, the self-employed tax guy, and you are here on my YouTube channel, right? YouTube and Facebook, both of our families are connecting here on this live, which we do every Friday, and this is the countdown, right? We've been doing this since March, and the end of the year is like, after this, we only have 3 more Fridays, and then that's it, right? Like, we enter into a whole new year, a whole new things of getting things done. So I'm so glad, you know, thank you to all of you who've been here. We talk about Thanksgiving and being thankful. You know, without a doubt, that I am thankful for every last one of you who watch, every last one of you who chime into the chat, every last one of you who support, just for being here, man. I'm so grateful and thankful for everybody. I saw somebody that said something. Hold on, I want to send this over here from Miss Gaston. Okay. You're gonna come. There we are. It says, I opened a business account last Friday, still amazed, proud of myself. We are proud of you too. As a matter of fact, where's it at?
High five.
High five goes to you. That is absolutely amazing. A little bit of a, yeah, that's for you. Opened up the business bank account. You are now one step closer. So congratulations to you. We are extremely happy that you're here doing the big thing. Jeremiah Thomas, big uncle in the building, waving. I see you. Samantha Royale, I see you. Ms. Jefferson says, hey to Natalie. Well, I'm going to say hey to Ms. Jefferson. Samantha asked a great question, Send it out here to the screen here. They put it on here. Says, are tax refunds added as taxable income? Absolutely. Well, let me back that up. If you're itemizing your deductions, your state refund may have to be counted as taxable income in the following year, but on a federal side, no. Your federal income tax is not counted as income. Okay. But again, if you itemize your deductions and you claimed your state taxes and you get a state refund, then a portion of that may be taxable as income on your next year's tax return. So definitely keep that in mind. But definitely your federal tax is never part of income. Okay. So great question. Glad you asked it. So, man, I think that was some things I wanted to talk about. Before I even continue, definitely want to send a huge, grateful shout out to my boy, my chef, my good friend, Mr. John Phillips, who hosted our family for Thanksgiving. Man, that food now, y'all met John, the gentleman that was from the Friends and Family episode. And he has his own business, his own show, which is on Facebook and YouTube. Check it out, createsimplemeals.com. I got to give him a shout out because everything that we ate yesterday is on his website. And it was a non-traditional Thanksgiving, right? He had, what was it? Seafood dressing, drunken noodles, beef and broccoli, fried turkey, some Gouda cheese, mac and cheese, and I think it had more than just Gouda cheese on there. It was all kind of cheeses. It was cheesy and it was white. It was absolutely amazing, man. So shout out to him and thank him for doing that, for keeping us fed and things of that one. So today's topic, there's some things I definitely want to get to. Let me make sure I get the presentation ready. And again, because it is just me, you can ask the questions, but note that I probably won't be able to see it once we put the presentation up on the screen here and get busy with it because it consumes the whole screen. So if you have questions, do your best, try to save it to the very end. That way I can at least see the question and make sure that I answer it for you because I don't want to miss anything. So today we are going to talk about, let me get it ready. Here we are. All right. Let's bring it up. So today's topic, y'all, it is going to be the 2021 checklist. Okay. There are some things, and before we get busy, here's why. You don't want to wait until 2021 to get started. You want to get started right now, immediately. And there's a good reason for that. And the reason we're going to explore 2021 checklist now is because of this one major important element in our life. Time. Time is proven to be critical in business. Okay? One of the principles that's outlined in the book and a lot of books that I've read, but the most common one is the 22 immutable laws of marketing. In that book, it lays out how the first to market normally, or very high percentage, like 90% of the time, the first person to market is the first person to dominate that market. So when we talk about doing things first, our goal is to be ahead of the game. We want to be ahead of the game. Everybody is going to wait until January to start thinking of things, right? They're going to start thinking of ideas and things like this, and they may wait a couple of more weeks to implement it. But if being the first is what's going to secure our funding, secure our capital, it's important that we start before anyone else, right? Like if we think of this as a timeline, the more that this expands out, right? The longer we take to get stuff done, the opposite effect happens to our bank account. The less money we make, the less money we receive, the less money comes to us. So the longer this gets in time, the less this becomes in money. So we don't want that to happen. We want to ensure that we are doing things right now, which is why I wanted to talk specifically about what we need to do in 2021. Okay, so the first thing we need to do in 2021 is do it now. I literally just said that, so that's what we're going to talk about. Do it now. And I have some notes here because there's some very interesting statistics that come as to why you want to do things now. Don't wait until January 1st. I really hate it when people make New Year's resolutions New Year's Day. That really don't want to, it just don't work out, right? And it's funny, my notes, as it says, only 8% of people keep their New Year's resolutions. And this was a study that was just done in January of this year, in January 2020. Only 8% of all the people, right? If we all the people equaling 100%, only 8% of the people actually keep their New Year's resolution. And there's a reason for that. But I want to focus on that number, only 8%. And when we look at people who are successful and people who are not, think about that. 8% of the people, what is the other 92% of the people doing? Are they just thinking about it? Are they just, saying it because it's cliche, like, oh yeah, my New Year's resolution is this, right? It's a thing to do to make a New Year's resolution, but and here's why I have a problem with waiting until January 1st to make a New Year's resolution, because most New Year's resolutions are life-changing for the better, right? Most people want to do a New Year's resolution to say, hey, I want to lose weight. I want to get in shape. I want to be fit, or I want to form a new habit. I want to quit smoking this year. That's my resolution. I'm going to do this. These resolutions are things that are extremely life-changing and life-benefiting. So why wait till January to do it? That literally makes no sense to me. If I have an idea, if I set a goal to say, you know what, I'm going to make money, but I got to wait till January to make that resolution so it can be official for whatever reason, right? That just don't make sense to me. Do it now. Do it right now, right? We are, as of today is November 27th. Couple of days away from December 1st. We want to start doing things right now. We don't want to wait till January 1st, especially if it's going to be life-changing for the good. Don't put that off. That is a terrible mindset, right? And I've said it and I'm sticking on this. The only difference between us and like the wealthy and us and the people whom we look up to is mindset. Change your mind, change your life. That is an absolute motto that I live by. Don't wait till January. Do it now. So we are talking about getting ready for 2021. No, we don't know what 2021 is going to hold for us. We have absolutely no idea. But as entrepreneurs, we understand the word pivot. Yeah, we may have planned for this, but if that didn't happen, well, we know how to pivot and do something else, regardless of the fact we want to do it now. So again, only 8% of the people keep their resolution. The other 92% of the people, we don't know what happened. A second statistic says that 80% failed by the start of February. So 80% of the people who had a New Year's resolution, and again, I don't think those two numbers go with each other, but 80% of the people who actually had a resolution failed, meaning that they gave up, they quit, they stopped worrying about it by February. So they started off January 1st, New Year resolution, cool, I'm good. I'm doing everything I want to do. By February 1st, that energy is gone. And that's with 80% of the population, right? So to me, there is a reason for that. And which brings me to my third point, forming good habits. It says that it takes about 18 to 254 days to form a new habit, right? Again, we're talking about habits here. We know that some habits can be formed in 30 days, depending on what it is. But it takes a total of 66 days for a new behavior to become automatic. Very interesting. 66 days for a new behavior. And that's what we want to have. We don't want to just form a habit. We want to change our minds. We want to adopt a new behavior towards our success, towards our growth, towards our business, right? So if it takes 66 days to form a new behavior, and we look at the fact that by February 1st, most people have failed, for whatever reason. If we start in December, 30 days December, 30 days by January, or by February, we may be able to curb that statistic, because at this point, we formed a new behavior within that 60-day period. So come February, there is no burnout, there is no quit, there is no failure of anything, because we have now gotten into this habit, because we had a head start, because we've been ahead of the game. Why? Because we did it now. Start now. Whatever you're thinking, get your pen, get your paper, start your plan right now. You don't want to wait till January 1st and join the crowd and be like, here's my New Year's resolution, I'm about to get the bag, my business is this and that. No, start that right now. So come 2021, you're already ahead of the game. You already got the ball rolling. You're already good to go. And like the principle says, when you do things first, you win. That's the goal. Don't wait. Do it now. That is the first thing you want to do when it comes to 2021. Whatever it is you're thinking, do it now. Okay? Man, let's see here. What else is next? So now we got that. Very important. Create your budget. Listen, one thing that 2020 has taught us, 2020 has taught us a lot of things, right? But one thing that, at least for me, 2020 has really emphasized is the fact that we can no longer be lackadaisical about our finances. We can no longer, what's the word? I mean, we can't take our finances lightly, because we don't know what's going to happen. We need to be more efficient when it comes to our finances. And the one thing that we need to do is create a budget. This budget is going to be for both business and personal, right? Because the goal is to have your business fund your lifestyle, right? Like that's what you want to do. You want to have a business that pays your home. Your business is going to give you money that's going to pay for your home. That's what you want to do. So you definitely want to create a budget. And creating a budget is should be fairly simple, right? Especially because all you want to do to create a budget is look back on everything that you've spent from January 1st up until now. And be honest with yourself. Creating a budget is not going to work if you're not being 1,000% honest with yourself. I can tell you any and everything in the world, but if you lie to yourself, you are doing yourself a huge disfavor, right? If you lie to yourself, you're only hurting yourself. Because if I say create the budget and here's how you do it, and you lie to yourself about it, it's not going to affect me. Right? Your finances is not going to affect my household. It is only going to affect yours. So you have to be 1,000% honest with yourself, even if it hurts. Okay? When I say even if it hurts, because sometimes when you look at your spending, you get a reality check. You be like, dang, I spent that much money on that? Oh, what was I thinking? You know, while we're in the moment, we don't ever know what we're doing until we sit back and we look at it and we analyze it. So that's what you want to do when you create a budget. There is two things you want to really focus on, not focus on, but there's two things in your budget. There are your fixed accounts, and fixed meaning that they are permanent, meaning that they don't really change from month to month. That's your rent or your mortgage. That's your car payment, right? That's your insurance. That's your utility bills. That's your your standard living, your basic living. You start with that. Start with the fixed amounts first. Things that do not change from month to month. Write them down, okay? And then you start with the variables, things that do change from month to month. That could be your food budget, depending on our eating habits change throughout the year. For summertime, we're more active. We eat more versus wintertime. We're more calm. We may eat less or eat different things. So your food budget is a variable because it can change depending your shopping budget, right? Make sure you include that. Got to be honest with yourself. You want to know how much you spent on clothing. You want to know how much you spent on shoes. You want to know how much you spent, period. You have to make sure you account for everything. As a matter of fact, let me show you. And you can do this in Excel. Let me see if I can find my, where'd it go? There's something that John Phillips, Create Simple Meals, he gave me a long time ago, and I modified this thing to be absolutely insane. So let me find it here. I'm trying to, so it's an Excel version of a budget that I've done. I should have had it ready. I apologize that it was not. Let me see. As if I can find it. It's buried somewhere. Oh, here it is. All right. So this is what I've created called a business monthly budget. Okay. Y'all can't see it. Let me put it out here. So this is a business monthly budget. And again, you don't have to be fancy like this. Okay, you don't have to be fancy at all. You can just keep a very simple Excel. As a matter of fact, if you have Microsoft Excel, you can go to it, Google, and look up budget, and they can give you all kind of budgeting templates and things like that. There's a lot of apps out there that work very similar. There's many tools at your disposal to help you budget. My thing is budget. Regardless of how you do it, if you got to use plain old pen and paper, budget. That's all I want you to do. Make sure. So this here is something that I created, and I'm going to show you. It tells my projected costs, my actual costs, my difference. The reason why these three are important, the projected costs, because this is what I'm assuming I should have based on what I looked at historical data. My projected cost should be this. This is the amount of money that I should only have to spend. That's why a budget, let me put this out here. That's why a budget is important, because it sets a boundary of your spending. Okay. If you know that based on historical data, you should only spend this amount of money, then that's what you set in the budget. And if you start to go over that, then you have to reevaluate and reassess what's going on with my spending. Is it my mentality, or did I miss something? Can I reduce that? Do I need to increase the budget? Did something happen? Did an expense go up unexpectedly that I need to be aware of? That's why we create these budgets, because it tells us where we are financially, right? So that's my projected cost. Then the actual cost. as I move forward, as I start to spend these things, I am going to enter it in the amount that I spent. Okay, and it's going to tell me, well, is your spending on track to where you be? If not, here's the variance, the total difference. That's what a budget does. But again, it's important because it helps you determine what's happening with your finances. So in 2021, we want to be more efficient with our finances, so we create a budget. I don't know if you can see here at the very bottom, but like there's income that I put here that triggers what goes over here. Like I love Excel, so I played around with it, modified it. The category list I think is what's important because it shows here of all the categories for my business. This is my advertising budget or spending. This is my transportation, my insurance, labor, legal, online, TME, travel, meals, and entertainment, equipment, savings. So these are all of the categories that I track in my business as far as the business budget goes, right? And again, shout out to John Phillip, who actually gave me this almost 10 years ago, but I just kind of modified it. This was one of the cool things that when he gave it to me, it would do. Over here in the J column, if I put something here, it would say, okay, like for example, this is my projected. So this feeds from the categories over here. So if I put it here, it brings it into my category list, and that's my projected. So if I spend just up to that amount, it turns green to say that, hey, I'm okay. But if I put that I spent like, 850, then look, it turns red that says, hey, you need to evaluate that. You spent more than you were supposed to, right? So that's why, I like this particular one here. I created a fuel log to help me understand how many miles I get per gallon. Then I connected banks to it here, bank one and bank two. So I can check the balance and add everything on there. But that's just me, okay? For you, again, keep it simple. You don't have to do anything like that per se. It's good if you know Excel to do it that way, but still the idea, create your budget, okay? Definitely create your budget. I don't care. Again, I'm repeating myself. It don't have to be fancy like that Excel. These two things will work. Pen, paper. Go to the 99-cent store, get you a pack of paper for 99 cents. You can make some columns on the paper and say, this is what I'm planning, or this is what my projected cost is. This is how much I've actually spent. This is the difference. You can do that with a piece of paper and get like a 99-cent folder to put it in for each month and just go back through the folder and look, was I on track? If not, reevaluate. What happened? Why did I go over? Did I misjudge the amount? Did something increase? Or was I just not disciplined the way I should be? Because now that you have that information, you can create that habit. 66 days to create a new behavior. And we want to create a behavior of being extremely efficient when it comes to our finances. So with that data, you can, again, you got to be honest with yourself though. It's not going to work if you don't be honest with yourself. Do that. All right. Even if you need to get an accountability partner, do so. And that's simply somebody who's going to keep you accountable. You ain't got to tell them all your business. Right? I get you don't want everybody in your business. Don't nobody need to be in your business. But if you got somebody who wants to see you succeed, or even if they have the same goals, right? So if you guys can hold each other accountable, okay? I'm actually working on something so that we can have that community of accountable people coming in 2021. I'm doing it right now, all right? So next thing we want to talk about is actually setting your goals. Goals are important. You need goals. If you don't have goals, then what are you doing? It's like going to the gun range without a target. Like you just you're just shooting, hoping you hit something. But if you can't clearly see it, if you can't clearly identify what it is you're aiming for, then you're wandering aimlessly. But again, I'm saying that don't wait till January 1st to set a goal. Really, and when it comes to goals, I want to be clear that there are visions, there are ideas, then there are goals. You want to set a goal. We all have ideas running through our heads daily, especially if you're an entrepreneur. You are constantly thinking of, oh, I can do this. Man, I can do that. Or ooh, I seen this. But is it worthy? Is it worthy of the time and effort that it's going to take to come from your mind as an idea to a vision on a board to something that you're actually going to go to achieve, right? Goals. A lot of people have a weight loss goal because this is something that they really want to do. A lot of people have an education goal because they know that it's going to benefit them in the future. A lot of us have money goals, okay? Which I'm going to say this, that money should not be a goal, okay? Because money is a means to a goal. Right? The goal should be what it is you really want to do. Like, oh, I want money. Why? I want to get the bag. Why? What is it that you're really trying to do? That's the level of thought that I want you to have when it comes to your goal setting. Really sit down between now, November 27th. So I'm giving y'all homework to do. Really sit down between now and next week. Grab a pen and paper and just start writing down your goals. And then, again, I'm asking you to be honest with yourself, okay? Goals, one thing I took from the corporate world is this acronym called SMART. And that's how they define goals, right? SMART, which means your goals must be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. That's what SMART stands for when it comes to goals. Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. So when you're setting them, be specific. Don't just say, I want money. It should be more or less like, I want to get $10,000 by January 16th at 3 p.m. on the dot. That is extremely specific, but that's how I want us to start thinking when it comes to our goals. And then, be realistic with your goals. Again, I'm asking you to be 100% truthful and honest with yourself because whether you make or break it is going to be 100% on you, okay? So when you're setting goals, be realistic, right? We all want to be millionaires, but is it realistic to say I'm going to go get $1 million by tomorrow? Unless you plan on robbing a bank, that may not be realistic, okay? So be real with your goal, because another reason you want to, because what if you set up an unrealistic goal? And when that time came and you say, I should have achieved this by now, but I didn't. You're only going to come down on yourself. You're going to make yourself feel bad. And it's a psychological warfare that we're engaging in with ourselves because we are our own worst enemies. If we set an unrealistic goal and we don't achieve it, then we beat ourselves up and then we don't do nothing else. Everything else that we thought we was going to do goes out the window. We give up. Oh, well, if that didn't happen, it ain't gonna never happen. So I'm done. I quit. I'm whatever. So make sure that it's a realistic goal. But let's start setting these goals. Let's not waste time. I know we have ideas and we have vision, but in order to set your goal, I want you to write it down. So when I say set your goals, write them down. Let's no longer do things in our mind. Write it down. Every time you say, this is what I want to do, it should be written. Written so you, and then put it in a place where you can see it, right? I've showed you, or at least I think I've showed you my wall. That's like right there. On that wall, there's just a blackboard that I got from the 99-cent store. And I had my wife do the writing because my handwriting is terrible. And I made 3 columns. One that says to do, doing, done. Very simple. 99-cent store project board, right? Like a little board that we for the kids and do their project on. And on top, there's 3 columns: to do, doing, done. And I sit at my desk and I see that every day. Those are my milestones. Those are my miniature goals, things that I must do. And if it's in the to-do column, okay, I see it. I don't forget. It's still a visual. That's a goal. Got to get to that. Okay. But now the goals that I'm working on, they're in my doing column. So it feels good when I can move something from to do, stick it on doing, right? Because that just means that I've took something from doing to done. Best feeling in the world. Best feeling in the world. Didn't cost me anything to set that up. Well, 99 cents. My wife, she charged me something to write it on there because she'll never work for free. And then the Post-it notes, right? So I write everything on a Post-it note, big, regular yellow. You can use whatever color you want. Be creative. This is your board. This is your vision. This is what you are seeing. Write it down. This is biblical principle, right? Write the vision down, make it plain so those that see it, right? Because back then they even understood the power of seeing what it is. Write it down. Don't just think of your goals. Write your goals down. Make them plain so you can see them, achieve them, and then repeat the process. Do it again. Start with little milestones. Again, we want to make them relevant. We don't want to set the biggest goal. Obviously, there is going to be an ultimate goal, a bigger goal, but don't forget about the milestones. One step at a time. That'll lead up to that. That one thing. What is the one thing? That's why I love that book, The One Thing. What is the one thing I can do right now that is going to set off a chain of events that is going to allow me to achieve that bigger goal? Focus on those right now, and you'll be good to go. Let's see here. So last not least, there was only a few things I wanted to do, but the last one not least, know your worth. Man, I'm gonna make that big. Cause I just stare at that with your eyes open for as long as you can, so that will burn in your brain. Know your worth. Man, 2021. Let me put myself for 2021. 2020 was a year of discovery for me. And I do believe it was a year of discovery for a lot of people. A lot of people discovered that, they really can't depend on their employer, right? Because a lot of people lost their jobs, unfortunately. A lot of people, was trying to depend on government. Government came through once, shout out to them. They helped us, but was that enough for everybody? No. So we discovered that we have to do things differently in 2020, especially for me. And I discovered that I can no longer do as much as I do for free. And the reason I discovered that, because it was a battle for me. I'm being 100% transparent with you because, again, I don't want you to make mistakes that I made. When you do things, you become worthy. When you know just that one thing more than the next individual, you have a worth, you have a value, because you possess something that somebody else does not. And in the world that we are living in, it is the goal of most people to get what they can for as cheaply as possible, okay? That's why this right here is important. And it's not to say that it's a negative thing. I don't want to think it's a negative thing, because we've been taught as a society to negotiate, right? Negotiate to the lowest term possible. We all want to pay as less taxes as possible. We love zero. We love receiving. We hate paying. That's just human nature. So we want to get as much as we can absolutely free. And I am guilty of allowing that to happen. I am. With family and friends, discount, free, whatever, get it, come get it. I will talk to, I'm blue in the face, just to give people knowledge so they can be successful, and don't charge a dime, not a dime. And it's very interesting that when people know this about you, okay, this is why you really got to know your worth and be careful, because you can cause some real issues in your business. Because once you discover your worth, you're like, man, okay, I'm no longer going to do that. But that may cause some pushback, but that's okay. That's absolutely okay. If you haven't launched yet or you haven't done anything yet, please learn from me right now. Know your worth, okay? And I say this because recently I was involved in this, how can I say? It's not a multi-level marketing thing. I just got into this, let's say, entrepreneurs network, okay? Where there's a bunch of entrepreneurs, we come together, people talk, well, this is what I do, or this is what I do. And, it was just like a support system kind of thing. And I realized that, well, let me back up again, because I didn't tell the story right. So in this network, somebody reached out to me, was like, I can really use your services. Or they didn't even say that. They said, I have questions. And I'm like, okay, we're all in the same group together. Somebody has a question. I'm gonna just answer the question, whatever. So I reached out to the individual, and it just blew my mind. The question turned into like an actual session. And what happened was, or the part that made me like, I really got to change my behaviors, is the fact that because it was free, there was no respect of my time. I would set a time to contact this individual, like, okay, look, I'm gonna call you at 11 a.m. my time, which is, whatever your time. We both agree. And I have email confirmation of this, right? And when that time comes, I'm calling and there's no answer. I'm emailing, hey, I'm calling you, what's going on? No response. But I've blocked off this time on my schedule to give to this individual when that time on my schedule could have been used for something else. There was no respect of my time, and I realized something. There was no respect of my time because there was no value to it. I didn't put a price tag with my time. It was just like, oh, well, it's whatever, it's free. So I'll just do it when I can. I appreciate you offering it to me, but because I ain't paid nothing, I'm not worried about it. And I noticed that this happened a lot of time. Like I'm guilty because I love helping people. Like if you have a question, and this is evident on the YouTube channel, or anytime somebody asks me a question, I answer for free. Absolutely, because my goal is to help you become successfully self-employed. But at the same time, my time is valued, right? Because I a lot going on. I'm a solo entrepreneur. It's just me, doing everything. So every second that I have available to me is extremely precious, okay? Because not only am I a solo entrepreneur, I'm also a husband and a father, a brother, a son. a grandson. Every second available to me is precious. So I noticed this pattern that every time somebody was like, hey, I need some help or whatnot, and I'm offering it for free, that was never respecting my time. I had somebody that, completely just had me sitting here for hours, and I'm blowing their phone up like, man, what's going on? We had this appointment. You supposed to be here. He's like, oh yeah, no, I got caught up. Can I come in an hour? You know what? No, you're fired. Fire the client right then and there. Why? Because there was no respect in my time, but that was my fault. Because I did not attach a value to my time, which brings me here. In 2021, you must know your worth. I don't care if you sell a physical product. Somebody is going to want to take your time. Somebody is going to want to ask a question. Somebody is going to want to consume something from you. And you're going to have to be able to attach a price to that, because you are worth more than zero. Bottom line, I'm saying it now. I hope you receive it. Know that you are worth more than zero. And I'm like, wow. My mind is blown, the fact that when I do things for free, I don't get treated the same as when I do things and when people pay. Okay, even online, when I do some videos and somebody will leave a comment and I'll be like, you know what, that's a little bit more involved. I can't simply just answer it yes or no. Shoot me an email, I'll do a consultation for free. Now I do charge for a consultation. There is an hourly fee for a one-on-one, but oftentimes I just waive it because I just want to help, right? So I'll be like, yeah, do it. Make the appointment, make it happen. Make the appointment, but because they didn't pay, do they show up? No. But the minute I do realize that when I actually charge people, when there's an actual fee associated with it, they are on time. They are respectful. They are ready to go. Why? Because they valued it. So you have to value yourself first in order for somebody to value what it is you do. You are way worth more than zero. Your time is worth more than zero. Now, I'm not saying become a tyrant, right? We don't want to charge your mama, right? You don't want to do anything like that. But when it comes to your time, when it comes to your value, your knowledge, your skill, if somebody is asking that of you, make sure that you get what you're worth for it. Make sure that you are not just letting the world consume you, because that's the world we live in now. Everybody is after knowledge, information, and services, and their goal is to get it as cheaply as possible. But don't let it be from you. It's amazing. People will pay. People will pay. People have paid. I have paid for something that I feel is valuable. I will pay if that something is going to move me forward. Even if it moves me forward just a little bit, I will pay for it. But it's kind of like if you go to your mailbox and you see the spam, the coupon, how many of y'all throw that in the trash? Spam mail. Because there's no value to you. But that in which you keep, you value. So you have to know your worth, right? No longer are we doing things for free come 2021. Okay? No longer are we going to not get what we're worth in 2021. All right? So be mindful that your uncle ain't doing much for free no more. For my community that's here, I still respect you. I still love you. And I'm still going to show you love. But going forward, you're going to see your uncle cousin, I ain't doing much for free no more. My worth has been devalued, and I'm about to bring the value right back up. All right. So that's one thing. And then lastly, once you know your worth, get busy. That's exactly what I want you to do. Get busy. We've talked about a lot of things. Don't wait. Okay. Set your goals. All right. Set your budget and get busy. Know your worth. Right. To kind of recap the 4 things I want you to do. And I got it written down on my paper. Do it now. Don't wait at all. Get busy. Set your budget. Set your goals. Know your worth. Because all of them things will tie in, right? Once you know your worth and you know you're going to start increasing your income, because now you're not going to be real flexible with your finances, you can increase the budget. You now can set some real goals, because we now going to have more revenue to do it, and we're not going to wait. We're going to do it now. All of those things is going to propel us, get us kick-started for 2021. But the thing is, we can't wait till January 1st, people. Can't do it. We got to do it right here, right now. Once we end this live video, go get your pen and paper and get busy. Right now, that is your homework. That's what I want to see. When we come back next week, at least tell me that you got busy. At least tell me that you done thought of your goals. At least tell me that you've looked at what you spent all year and you're starting to put together your budget. At least tell me that when we come back here next year. That is your homework. That is your takeaway. That is your call to action. At least tell me next week when we come back that those things have been initiated. That's all I'm asking. At least for my time, for me to sit here for free and talk about this. Show me that, it's valuable to you. Let me know that you've done these things. I'm changing my mentality. I'm gonna be hard next year, because we can no longer be lackadaisical about anything. We have to be intentional about everything. So I'm not begging and asking. I'm telling all of 2020. I'm telling you, you need a budget. You need to get busy now. You need to set goals. You need to know your value. I mean, this is not an option. If you want to be successful, then we got to get busy right here, right now. And I'm telling this to myself too, because all of these things apply to me as well. A lot is going to change next year. So let me see. Let me grab the comments. Get busy. Oh, man. Well, yeah. Let me make sure I ain't missed nothing here. So let me. I think I answered some of that. Let me go back. Let me get to this one here. Miss Jackson says, definitely need a checklist. Been all over the place. Well, I hope, Miss Jackson, that this checklist, even though it was only 4 things, right? We gonna chunks at a time, small things at a time. I hope that this definitely gave you some insight, some things to do. Hopefully, I think you did. I appreciate the comment. Man, Juvie Love, hello, Kings and Queens. Auntie Deborah in the building. Yes, yes. Oh, my wife commented, amen. She's watching. Good, good. Joshua, great question. Let me see here. I think it got cut off there, but it says, with goals that require sub-goals, great point, due to sheer size, how do you plan out the very first step? I can plan out everything else except out the very first step, right? The first step is always the hardest step. Absolutely. The first step is always the hardest step, but again, what sub-goals? And that, Joshua, to be honest with you, is what you do. You make a sub-goal to the goal. If the goal is to make 100,000 and you're a business owner, okay, 100,000 may be a big goal. Well, what other goal can I do to get to that goal? Well, let's talk about the thing that gets me there, sales. Let's do a sales goal, right? Let's do a sales goal, make that the sub goal. And even if the sales is a big thing, well, maybe it's sales training. kind of thing. We want to work it backwards, kind of like a ladder, right? Like if we know the goal is here, what's the next step under that? Okay, then we're going to make that rung. What's the next step under that? That's going to be that rung. And we do that till we get to a place where we're comfortable taking the first step. Sub goals. Man, I'm glad this is going to be one of the boldness modules in the business courses, how to crush your goals. I go through all of that. Super excited about that one. So let's see here. Oh, appreciate you. Yeah, that was the scripture, right? Write the vision down, make it plain. There it is, the scripture right there. For those of you who like to read the Bible, you can go verify it that it is there. Absolutely. Appreciate that. Y'all, ain't nobody preaching. I see all this preaching in the comments. Y'all, nobody preaching. We talking, right? We just talking tonight. There it is from Brilliant's technical writing, talking about how to really get those goals. Excuse me. For those who don't know, Brilliant is a technical writer, right? It's definitely in her name. She did a video with us a couple of weeks ago about process mapping and, getting things done, but definitely start with a high level process and then drill down on each block. That is her skill. That is what she does. You can reach out to her on the side if you need help for that. Highly encourage it. I've done it, right? So I'm good to say it there. Definitely. So I see that here. Samantha, so glad, said that she just put a budget together, which is good. I'm glad that we put a budget. How was it for you? Was it easy? Was it difficult? If you don't mind sharing here in the chat about setting the budget, was it easy for you? Or what was the process you kind of went through? Let's see what else here. So Webman Onyx says 2020 actually kept me too busy. I ain't mad at you. 2020 was a good year for some. Absolutely. Absolutely. So if it kept you busy, man, I'm glad that it did. I'm hoping that it keep you busy in 2021. Just make sure whatever goals you plan or whatever you're doing, we start those right now. Okay. So I see that's pretty much it on the comments here. Good. I'm glad that everybody's, again, supporting one another, chatting back and forth with one another. Samantha here says that setting the budget for her was easy and alarming. Thank you for that transparency, right? Because once you start to really look at your finances, you really see just how much things cost. You really see just how undisciplined you really are in some cases. It's a real eye-opener. Oh, lastly, while you're going through the budget, thank you, Samantha, for reminding me. As we prepare for 2021, clean up your finances, right? Like as you go back and you look at historical data, you look at your bank accounts and look at what you spent money on. If you find yourself paying for subscription you don't use, cancel it. Again, be honest. If you're paying for a gym membership and you don't go to the gym, then let it go. Be honest with yourself. We want to be efficient with our finances, right? Unsubscribe to any newsletters you haven't written. Part of it, again, psychological warfare. You don't want to open up your email box and there's a million emails. That kind of bogs you down just thinking. Again, just thinking about the fact that you have to read these emails. Well, if it's emails that you don't read, unsubscribe, right? Don't have that get your mental down. When you wake up, you want to be refreshed. You want to be energized. You don't want to be thinking that I got a million emails to read. You ain't reading them anyway. Let them go, okay? Look at your credit card balances. Can you reduce the interest on that? Can you refi? Can you do anything? Look at your entire financial outlook. Shave off the things that you aren't doing. Let go of things that you aren't using. Look at your finances. Can you refinance for something lower? Can you negotiate, pull something more? Look at everything you can do. Be extremely efficient and go from there. All right. So what else here? Let's see here. I'm thinking here. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Natalie. Absolutely. She says it here that cutting out subscriptions helps a lot, even though it seems like a small amount of money. Absolutely. Right? We'd be amazed at how much I had to do it. Like I had paid for this subscription because I was going to do webinars, right? Like, oh, I paid for this webinar hosting company. It was $99 a month. And I paid for it. And I was like, a year later, like, I didn't even use this thing. That's $1,200 that I wasted. Okay? Because I initially thought I was going to use it. I had the idea. I said, I'm going to get into webinars. I'm going to start doing webinars. I mean, but this is a webinar and it's free, basically, right? I mean, cameras, we live, people are here. There's a chat. I'm like, why am I paying $99? What am I doing? But it took me a year to finally do it. So go through, be honest with yourself. If you don't need it, cut it out. Okay. Joshua asked a question. Mr. Robinson says, refinance. I hear that a lot. Well, Mr. Robinson, I appreciate you being bold enough to ask the question and being transparent, because the worst question that you could ask is the one that you don't ask, because not everybody knows everything. So when you refinance something, you're going to, let me give you an example. Say you pay $15,000 for a vehicle, okay? And after a couple of years, after a couple of years of making payments on that, the balance is now $10,000. So when you refinance, you're going to say, okay, I should be charged, or I would like to be charged interest on the amount that it is now at, $10,000, as opposed to $15,000, because you've already paid $5,000. Now we're going to relook at the amount. We're going to renegotiate the rate and the term based on $10,000, not $15,000. So when you refinance something, you're simply just renegotiating the terms of a loan based on what the amount is at the moment. Okay, that's the summary of what refinancing is. So look into it, but that's pretty much a summary of how that works. So yeah, it is 7:12. I'm always going past my time here, right? I apologize, but it's some good information. This video, I'll leave up. Not going to delete. Reference it in case you ever need to come back. So we didn't really give too much premium information here. So I'll leave this one up. Not going to delete it, but I'm going to go ahead and get to the end screen so we can end tonight. Man. Let's see. Ms. Jefferson, thanks so much for the great information. New business owner, congratulations to you. Being a new business owner, that's absolutely amazing. High five to you.
High five.
Right there. So, family, again, as it says here, make sure that you follow me on Facebook so you can get these notifications. Give it a thumbs up, a like. If you're on social media, join me over on Instagram. I'm gonna be doing some things on Instagram, right? I'm gonna be venting on Instagram. Yeah, so if you want to hear me vent, because I'm getting ready to really have a venting session on Instagram when it comes to LLCs and when it comes to paying zero taxes, right? Because there's so many people sending me so many videos. Oh, well, so-and-so said you can do this. And I'm like, it really don't work that way, or it don't work for everybody. So I'm gonna be venting on Instagram. So if you want to hear me vent, make sure you follow me on IG. And of course, if this is your first time here and you like this kind of content, consider subscribing on YouTube. As it says there, hit the subscribe, like button, hit the bell icon, and we go from there. Outside of that, my good people, that is it for me. I don't think I have anything else that I can think of. No? All right. So I appreciate you being here. Know that I love you. Know that I am thankful for you. Know that I'm excited for what 2021 is going to bring. Remember, you got homework next week, and just let me know that you at least started what it is that we talked about. If you can make it here, if God see fit that you here, absolutely. So I appreciate everybody in the chat. Appreciate you, Uncle Vin, with that definitely tidbit of information. Definitely be careful. Fees, other charges. So definitely, Joshua, do the research first. Make sure that it makes financial sense to do so. Always run the numbers. Y'all know me. run the numbers, make sure that it makes financial sense. So, man. All right, everybody, that's it for me. I love you, and I will see y'all when? Next week? Yeah. I don't think what's going on. Yeah, I'm going to say that. We'll see y'all next week. Where's my pad? All right, yeah, there we go. All right, so I'm in. All right, I'm done. I'll see y'all next week. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Yeah. Never hits end when it ends.